Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for August 21st, 2024. We're going to be doing another 2024 fantasy football mock draft. This is 12-team PPR. I'm going to post the link right now so you guys can join us. And then I'm going to just intro this while you guys sign up for it. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that will be really appreciated. As you can see here, we have a ton of t-shirts here in the merch store. Of course, August. It's August right now, which means it's Gluttony Month. We celebrate all 7 deadly sins. It's 1955. Sometimes it's like 17, sometimes it's 20. The price kind of fluctuates, but it is very important to let everyone know that gluttony rights are human rights. So you can get that message out now. September's coming up too, which is Lust Month. We have that t-shirt as well. We have a bunch of other ones, a money laundering shirt, Pedo Pete, Biden pooped his pants, which this lady in the neighborhood saw me wear this shirt and she had a good laugh at it. So these are high quality shirts. I've had these shirts for like 5 years now, or most of them for 5 years, and they've lasted like without any holes really, and they're still going. So we've actually had Cassandra on here say the same thing. So 1955 for a shirt. This economy is pretty good. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That would be very helpful, very appreciated. We had Slew yesterday contribute with the super chat, and I say this all the time. These YouTube ads pay nothing, so super chats, super stickers are a great way to keep the show going. And Slew, John Sanders, Germ, DeGenon, Kevin Kovac, you guys have been so awesome recently. So it's not just free the apron. Yeah, our apron disappeared. We have to get the apron back. And also, you can go to Amazon, buy my books. My most recent book, Jerks of the College Years. So it's $13.99 on Amazon. So if you guys like Jerks of the Week, this is the same thing, just from my stories from Penn State. So I spent 6 years at Penn State, so I wrote about all these weirdos that you can read about here. Also, my other book, my second book that I released, How the 2020 MVP Was Stolen. The story about how Brett Favre tried to sabotage Aaron Rodgers' MVP. So you can read about that as well. But anyway, without further ado, our guest for tonight is Schmidty from Philly. Schmidty, how are you? And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Walt. My childhood friend of 35, maybe close to 40 years.
Yep.
I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. A little bit of intro of me. I'm a businessman involved in real estate, energy deregulation, solar panels, also a musician. I rap, been rapping for over 20 years, performed all over the city. I have an album out in you can find it on all social media platforms, Spotify, YouTube. If you're looking on YouTube, it is Schmidty from Philly, and Schmidty on Spotify. I'm on Instagram under Schmidty Music, and on Facebook as well. And I released my first album last summer, and I have a lot of singles that have been hitting the airwaves and getting a lot of buzz. And I was the neighbor of this host, WalterFootball.com, or Walt, for, I don't know, 20 years, 25, however long we were neighbors for. And I'm really honored to be on the show, and I'm pumped up. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, glad to have you on. I was just thinking about this. I think you're the first musician I've ever had on as a co-host. And that made me think, I don't know if you saw that video. It's about like two girls, or one girl's interviewing this other woman, and she goes, the one woman's like, "What do you know about me?" And the interviewer's like, "Oh, I know you're a musician." And the other girl's like, "What do you mean? I don't make magic or anything." And the girl's like, "No, I meant," she's like, "I'm not a magician. I don't make magic." It's like the funniest thing, like one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. So I urge anyone.
Nonsense.
Yeah. I urge anyone to check that out. It's on YouTube. But yeah, we have this room filling up here. We have about 6 spots left, so sure, we'll start soon. Chris said maybe it was the writing on the apron. I think a nice update would be Butker says back in the kitchen. So we had an apron that I was selling. It just said Butker was right. And they removed it from the merch store, which I was very upset about. And Chris pointing out there's still aprons on that site. So and so I don't know. I feel like Biden pooped his pants. I feel like that's more offensive than Butker was right. but I guess I don't know. I guess not. So I have to try something else. Cassandra asking, is this the guy you ditched to buy a video game? No. But first of all, I told the story before. Sure. While we're waiting for the room to fill up, I'll say it again. When I was like 10 or 11, this guy Will, he used to live in our neighborhood. He was over my house. We were just swimming, and it was my birthday. My dad comes home, and he promised me that we would go to Toys R Us to get a Super Nintendo. And this guy Will goes, I was like, my parents won't allow me to go, so it's either me or the Super Nintendo. And I'm like, all right, see ya. I'm gonna get the Super Nintendo.
Did he go to Greenberg?
Yes, he went to Greenberg. Yeah. So yeah, that was. I told that story before. It was a fun time.
I have an idea who it is actually.
Okay. He actually moved schools. I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but it was like, man, these people in my school are very unfriendly. They ditched me for video game consoles. So,
no, dude, to be honest with you, if he was at your house and he got a little taste of Kismet and us throwing things at people, there's a possible chance that it was a collective. I don't want anything to fucking do with the dudes that live on Kismet.
That's probably true. Our friend Josh, he once threw a cherry bomb at a bus that you were in and actually like hit you in the ear.
Yeah,
I don't think this is the best. It's like the most accurate throw I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how he got it. Like,
and you know what I keep saying? I just simply don't remember that.
I don't. That's so crazy that you don't remember, because I remember you like coming up to us, and I was like, well, you're at this time like we're both like kids. I didn't really talk to you back then, and you're like 2 years older than me almost, and I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna come up to us and like yell us or like beat us up or something. And then I remember you being like, wow, that's a good throw. It's just, yeah, it was insane. That was crazy. I can't believe he hit you like right in the ear with a cherry. It was insane.
What's crazy is like I didn't start going to Greenberg.
Sorry, what you cut off there? What'd you say?
No, I said I didn't start going to Greenberg until 7th grade.
Yeah, you went to a different school back then. I remember. I remember when we were on the bus. There's this girl Susie who used to ride with us, and she was like either I think she's a year older than me, and I don't know, she was
JP's younger sister. I remember.
Yeah, she was saying something mean to me, and and you whispered to me like, Walt, call her a hooker. I'm like, and I did, like, I was like 10 or 11 back then. I had no idea what that meant. I was like, Susie, you're a hooker. So she got so mad. That was so great.
Well, we as kids, we had like a little thing going on.
Yeah.
But I was good friends with JP, so I guess in a way I just treated her like she was one of the dudes on the block. I was like, no, that ain't cool, man. Don't be fucking around with one of my friends. I'm like, make me feel like complete dirt.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So we have, speaking of body and friends, I saw AB, it's Antonio Brown, gave Steve Kerr a very prestigious daily award yesterday. Yeah, that was, I don't know if do you follow, you're not on Twitter. Yeah, you don't follow Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, I've said this, I think he's had the best post-NFL career of anyone since O.J. Simpson. I think he's been amazing on Twitter. I think that he deserves his own show, his own football show. So yeah, what he said about Steve Kerr might get us banned.
You think they'll give it to him?
No way. He's so controversial. He called Steve Kerr. They gave this like anti-Trump thing. His anti-Trump speech at the DNC, and Antonio Brown called him the 6-letter F word of the decade.
Did Steve Kerr really do that?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, what the fuck, man? He just went down on my list.
Oh yeah, he's been super anti-Trump and pro-China and stuff like that, like for a long time. So yeah, you didn't know that. Yeah, he and Greg Popovich, or
no, I don't want to hear that. Jesus Christ, Steve Kerr was. I mean, let's be honest. He had one of the best shots of his era. Yeah. And now it's just, that's not good.
Yeah. Hey, we're full. I'm gonna hit start draft here. And we are underway. Yeah, it's disappointing that these guys are so especially Popovich is insane. I always like joke that he loses his mind and stuff. It just sucks because you respect them as coaches, or Steve Kerr's. case, like a former like great sharpshooter, as you said. Then he like does this nonsense. So we have CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson starting. I always ask this to every co-host I have on here. If you had the number one pick, who would you take?
I would probably have to go with McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, okay. I worry about McCaffrey. I could definitely see the upside. He's number 2 on my rankings. I just feel like he's gotten so banged up over the years. He's dealing with the calf strain. He had such a big workload last year. I feel like it's going to catch up to him at some point. But
yeah, I know you've been pretty big on that with the more rushes, attempts, and all that. But at the same time, I just haven't seen him slow down yet. That's my only thing.
Yeah. All right. So you're up. Tyreek Hill just went. So what are you doing here?
Oh yeah, this is going to be a shocker.
Okay. Saquon Barkley. Why Saquon Barkley?
Actually, so everything that I'm reading about him, including what you're writing, is that he's looking like he's going to have a potentially huge year behind that offense. I think he's got something to prove. I think that he's got weapons around him. I think he's going to feel appreciated, and for all those reasons, I think he's going to blow the fuck up. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think he could do for the Eagles what Christian McCaffrey did for the 49ers. Niners had a good offense, but it wasn't nearly as potent as it was after McCaffrey got there. So, I mean, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, but I think Barkley's going to have an amazing year. I totally agree with that. I think that's a great pick where you got him. And I'm sure you like my pick as well. I took A.J. Brown. I feel like I keep taking A.J. Brown at the 10th spot. And I guess I should note that I keep drafting out of the 10th spot because I have a league. I'm in a league with Austin Keller from Arizona. We had on as a guest on Thursday. Was it? Yeah, it was Thursday. So we did so she's the commissioner of my league. On Sunday we do a draft, and I'm drafting at the 10th spot. So I just want to practice there. And I keep getting A.J. Brown at number 10, which I'm not going to complain about. I hope I get him there. You're an Eagles fan. Like, how would you feel about Barkley's gone? How would you feel about A.J. Brown drafting him there?
I think that there's nothing wrong with drafting him. He's going to put up numbers. You made a comment, or in your analysis, he had such a strong first half of the season and then started to go down a little bit. I don't see him repeating that again. I mean, and then you have Saquon Barkley back there. That's only going to open shit up for him even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be great. Taking Jahmyr Gibbs here at 203. I like going Brown and then another running back. I think there are 3 really good running backs. Henry, not one of them. But yeah, I think that's generally going to be my plan. Laporta going way early. So you're up here at 206. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm looking right here. Let's see.
Chris saying, really hoping Barkley falls to me at 8 for my draft this weekend. I think, yeah, that'd be pretty ideal. Chris saying, very disappointing. I used to love Popovich's interactions with the late Craig Sager. Yeah, that is very disappointing. So you want Devontae Adams. You want to talk about that?
Sure. Again, I think that's a guy that's got great talent. I think that last year wasn't the greatest year for him. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's going to have a bounce back year. He's one of those guys that I think that just you're going to see him have a bounce back year because of his potential.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder if he's going to be traded too. There's been some speculation that he could be traded. If he goes to the Jets and he plays with Aaron Rodgers, that's fantastic for him. Conversely, if he gets traded to the Patriots, you're going to be like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But I assume, I don't know why the Patriots to do it. I just heard some buzz about him going there, but so I like a lot of these mid-second round picks. Josh Jacobs, I love. Kyron Williams, great potential. Pacheco at the end of the second round is fantastic. Achane comes with some concern. Oh, I should say, I was going to say this. I forgot. So you were saying that you can find all your music on different platforms. I actually posted links to your music on YouTube. So I posted a link to Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and one other one I can't remember, or YouTube. And then I've also posted a link to your newest song. So yeah, people can check that out if you want. You guys should definitely check out Schmidty's music. It's really good. I actually have I think like 4 or 5 of your songs on my iTunes playlist. So that should tell you that I think that you're a really talented musician. So you guys should check it out if you guys get the chance.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, of course. So we're in the middle of the third round now. 2 quarterbacks going earlier than usual. Usually these guys are going like end third, mid fourth. Mahomes went in the mid fourth last night, so a little early there. But it's not like he's not going to come back to scary hours, at 4:12. So I could at least understand it. So going triple running back, it's good. It's interesting. We'll see. I'm kind of curious to see how that pans out. But I love his first 2 running backs, Bijan and Josh Jacobs. And then Rachaad White goes, and you're on the clock at 3:07. So you took Kelsey. So want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think that's the best tight end in football. I think he's going to have double-digit touchdowns. I think Mahomes is looking great, strong. These guys, you know how I just look at it. These guys are in their prime. Can't expect anything less.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I worry about Kelsey's age. He's 34. He had an amazing 2022 season. It was ridiculous what he did. But that was when the Chiefs didn't have any receivers. And like now they have Marquise Brown, they have Rashee Rice, they have Xavier Worthy. Like they have weapons from home. So I just don't know if he's going to have that production again. Plus, like it seemed like last year he was distracted probably by Taylor Swift. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but I don't know. I mean, it could work out. But I think tight end is so deep this year that I think you can wait on tight ends. So I would rather wait. So
it's possible I blew my load a little bit.
No, I'd say, it's fine. Like, Kelsey is going to do well for you. It's not a real league, but hypothetically, I took Kenneth Walker at 310. I'm really warming up to Walker. I didn't like him at the beginning of the offseason because the Seahawks lost all 3 starting offensive linemen or in the interior of their offensive line. But they signed Connor Williams, who's one of the best run blockers in the NFL. So now I'm more bullish on Walker. I think there are a couple running backs I could have gone with. But I think the 2 others I would have considered there both have major injury question marks, whereas Walker does not. So I think he's the safer of the 2. And given that I drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a little banged up right now, and I expect him to play week 1, but he's still a little banged up. So I'd rather be safer with Walker than the other 2 guys. Looks like John Tron's not on. There's no green. Oh, there he is. So hopefully he makes a pick here. He's the only one who went double receivers, so it'll be interesting to see how his team pans out. Provided he doesn't. So he timed out with Josh Allen, so which he may have had in his queue. Jalen Waddle goes, and now John Tron's up again. So let's see here. We have Dave. Dave. Schmidty is drafting from ESPN magazine, 100% guaranteed.
Where's Dave? Oh, Dave, you little fucker. What's going on, brother? Dave, the Undertaker. That should be a great nickname for him.
Well, his nickname is the Body Burner, which is fantastic.
It is, but I'm just talking about his line of work being in that field.
Yeah, Body Burner too. That makes sense.
Yeah, or the Undertaker.
Yes, I'm all right. I'm up. There are a few receivers I like here for sure. Kind of torn between 3 really. I'm gonna go with let's see. I'll go Stephon Diggs. I think he bounces back. Actually, no, I missed Pittman. Pittman went. I was like, maybe I'll take Pittman. He's gone. No, Stephon Diggs, I think, could have a bounce back here. Like he was great in the first half. And then he just disappeared. But you're up on the clock. So what are you doing at 4:06?
Oh God! Got a fucking gun in my head.
Well, you got 45 seconds, so it's a lot better than the other platform you see used, which is only 45 seconds. Let's see. Well, you choose. Chris has agreed 100%. I have Puka as a sleeper, so I'm trying to get an RB1 to pick 8. The receiver in my next pick. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's such a reach.
Your receivers are tough to get in round 2. Yeah, that's definitely true.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Okay, Chris asking, well, you have AJ Brown ranked 13th on the PPR sheet. Any reason you keep taking him ahead of Gibbs, Kyron, and Taylor? Yeah, because if you look at my PPR sheet, once say Brown went, there's only Brown of like the top 6 or 7 or 8, maybe 8 players. Only Brown was the receiver. Like all the rest are running backs. So I'm like, if I take Brown here, I can get one of the other running backs on the way back. So that's why I went. That's why I went with receiver there. So yeah. All right, let's see what's happening here. You took Cooper Kupp. So why Cooper Kupp?
Injured last year, came back, looked pretty good. I think he's looking better. They're cautious with him, of course, but I think he's going to be that number 1 option over there, and he's going to be, I think, back to normal this year. And if he is, major upside. So it's a little bit of a risk, but I'm good with it.
Yeah, you think? I mean, we'll see what happens with Nakua. You know, he's banged up right now. So I like some of these other receiver picks here. DJ Moore was one of the other guys I was considering.
I was considering him too. I looked at him. I did look at him. I don't know, man. I just feel like let me see if this guy can come back to his old form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I think he certainly can. Mark, it's like come on, dude. Is that the voice you got? I feel like everyone might have a different one.
That wasn't mine.
What voice did you get there?
Oh, I don't even. What is?
Oh, do you have it on silent? Maybe that's it. Because when Macau went to auto draft, there's like a voice went, "Oh, come on, dude." I don't know if you guys want to tell me what you had, or hopefully I'm not like hallucinating here. That'd be bad. All right, so DK Metcalf goes again. I'm higher on the Seattle players now. Now that Connor Williams is there. Not so much that Metcalf benefits from the run blocking, but if the offense functions better, then he's gonna have a better chance of touchdowns. Trey McBride went. I think I took him in the 6th round last night. So I think that's a little too early for him. I don't like reaching on tight ends early. Like I said, you can get a lot of good ones late. It's kind of crazy how many tight ends there are this year. Also quarterbacks. Feels like that's super deep. But okay. So you are up at 507. So what are you doing with this pick? You have 1 running back, 2 receivers, and a tight end.
Yeah, I got to go running. Just got to get the right one.
There are some okay running backs here. Nothing like great. Well, there's one pretty good one, I think, or maybe 2. Yeah, let's see if we have any comments. Yeah, thanks for the explanation. Yeah, you just gotta look at the top 6 or 7 or 8 players you have available. If there's only one of a position and there are a bunch of another one, you could probably think that those guys are going to come back to you, or at least 1 or 2 of them. That's what happened. I had Gibbs and Kyron and Jonathan Taylor there, and I figured hey, one of them, or Josh Jacobs, one of them's going to come back to me, and a few did actually. Chris says now Schmidty is an ageist. Can't help but notice he only has 1 player under 30. You were at 5 seconds. Who's T die? What is that? What is that pick?
What the hell? I think
Is that Troy? Is that Troy die?
No, I meant to. Well, I'm not going to say who I meant to get. No, I didn't mean to get that guy. I don't know how that happened.
That's bad. Usually we have troll picks in the final round. I feel like that like that's one of the guys who get picked.
That is one of the guys. I meant to pick somebody else, and I just lost it. I don't even know what to do. This guy that I picked is awful.
Yeah, he's a linebacker. I don't know why. Troy Dye used to.
He's a running back. I think he was with the Jets, and then I think they waived him.
Man, that's pretty wild. All right, so I am up, and this is what I'm talking about before. Well, actually, I'm going to go with the running back. The one guy I was talking about before, who I like here, James Conner. He's
that's who I was going to.
That's who you're gonna take.
That's who I was. That's who I had highlighted, and I don't know what the fuck.
That's weird. No, that's strange. I mean, James Conner, pretty solid. He was great at the end of last year. And I'm up again. I was hoping Higgins would come back to me. That did not happen. And I'm kind of regretting taking. Oh, never mind. I keep missing these picks. So Tank Dell went. I'm like, I regret taking Diggs because Dell's left, but he's not. So he's gone. All right. So I am up again, and I'm looking at a. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go back on what I said, and I'm going to take a tight end just because I feel like everything's so mediocre here. I think I can get some better players later. I think that Dalton Kincaid could have an insane season, kind of like Travis Kelce did in 2022, just because they lost all the receivers, including Curtis Samuel, who's out now for like a couple weeks at least. And so, like, you kind of have to wonder, like, who's Josh Allen going to throw to? Like, you have a rookie receiver in Keon Coleman. You have Khalil Shakir, who's pretty mediocre. You have Chase Claypool. Like they really don't have anything except for James Cook. So anyway, you're up here. Who are you going to take you took Najee Harris. Want to talk about him?
Well, I'm going to say that Najee Harris is better than T.Dye.
That's I would say he's going to outscore him. Bold prediction.
With that complete fuck up, I needed to get something. I needed another running back, and I think that's a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah, just a little bit. So why Harris there at 6-6? That's to do with Jalen Warren's injury.
Yeah, I think because he went down, he's going to see more time. That's what everybody's saying. I think his preseason looked all right. And I'm just going to ride that wave. I think, and you know, Pittsburgh's always been pretty run happy for the most part and using their running back, so I think they're going to continue that.
Hey, apparently I can change your pick. Do you have anyone you would like to swap in at the moment? Apparently, yeah. I think this is for the best. I just want to be. It's not like a good draft if like. Yeah,
if possible, I would. And Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything crazy.
Okay, yeah, that's much better than the T-Dye. Good call, Cassandra. Thank you. Yeah, Tony Pollard. That would be a great pick there, or Connor. I suppose we could like hypothetically switch. Like if you took Connor there, I probably would have taken Pollard. So, I like any. You saw Pollard over some other guys there. Do you want to talk about him at all, or they had like why do you like? Do you like Tony Pollard this year? Do you hear me at all? Am I on mute? Are you on mute? Okay, I guess there's an audio issue there. Yeah, he picked someone over in the 30. Tie-dye is that the Walton trivia pick? Nice. All right,
who's that? Chris Horst? That's
yes.
A fucking great comment.
Yeah, I know. Keenan Allen goes. I was hoping one of these receivers to come back to me. McLaurin goes. Gina Reed, Godwin, a bunch of like.
That's funny. I'm just catching up now. Dude called me an ageist.
I know. I asked you about. I don't know if you heard my question. I asked you about Tony Pollard. Any like thoughts on him?
Yeah, I liked how he looked over there in the Cowboys when he got the touches. I think that he's gonna, really do well looking, as the main back over there. Pick up where Henry left off and just kind of make it do some of these running backs they're splitting time, so I think him being the full back there is going to be great. Am I up?
Yes, you're up now. Javonte Williams goes. And,
here it is. We're getting close to it. We're getting close, guys. Can't believe I'm going to do it, but I got to do it.
I'm kind of curious.
I am too.
You're curious about your own pick?
But
Dak Prescott. Why Prescott there?
He's got the weapons. I think this dude gets injured almost every single year, and I think he's due for one healthy one. And look, he was looking like an MVP candidate last year, right? So, at times, I think he's got the opportunity to flourish.
Yeah, I feel like they could be in a lot of shootouts. This team, they were horrible against the run last year. So like they got bailed out by playing a lot of bad teams and being ahead. So if they fall behind just by not being able to stop the runs, they could throw a lot.
By the way, real quick, Walt, Cassandra Future, she's hilarious. She goes, someone needs to take T-Dye in every mock from now on. It's mandatory. If no one
I
has
know.
And you have the mystery relevant pick, you must. You know what? I think maybe I'll name one of my team name T-Dye in one of my other leagues.
You should. that was a fantastic pick. Yeah, I think that has to be like a mainstay now. I'm gonna take Christian Watson. I love his upside. He's like he got injured a lot last year, but it seemed like he figured out what the reason was, like why he was getting injured so much. At least he figured out like why that was happening. I don't know if he quite figured out how to fix it, but at least like he knows like what's going on. So I think that like he could have a huge season if he stays healthy. I just think that like his upside is through the roof. Jalen Warren goes Tua Bauer. I don't know why Brazil took 2 tight ends. I think that's a mistake. You shouldn't take 2 tight ends that early. All right, so I'm up again. I'm going to take another receiver here. I think there's some good depth at running back, considering like the other positions. And take a guy who's injured right now, but he's my 4th receiver, so I don't have to play him right away. And then maybe I can play him once like Watson goes down or something, or Diggs disappoints. It's going to be Marquise Brown. So he's out for a couple weeks here. He'll probably be back like week 3 or something. But he has such immense potential this year in that offense. It's going to be the best quarterback he's ever played with, obviously Mahomes, but he's never played with like an elite passer. He's played with some elite runners like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, but he's never had an elite passer. And so I think he could have his best year, assuming he comes back from injury. So, he can just sit on my bench for a few weeks and then I could start him if I need to, if one of these top guys falters. So, so I have, through 8 rounds, I have 3 running backs, 4 receivers, and tight end. I think the team looks pretty good. If I come away with this in Kelly's league, I'll be pretty happy about that. Here's the comment. Someone needs to take T-Dye in every mock draft now. I totally agree. The Schmidty, no, Barstool Schmidty from Philly. Mooj is asking you this.
Hold on. The Schmidty. Oh, is that the dude? I think that's the guy that's supposed to be the QB. Right? No, I don't know that. But I am SCHMID today.
Yeah. You're up, by the way. Xavier Worthy just went. I was kind of curious about where he'd go. He went 5th round yesterday.
God, that's exactly what I was fucking looking at.
Oh, really? Yeah, he went 5th round yesterday. So quite the variance there. So a wide range of outcomes for Worthy. Which I think 8th round is perfect. I thought yesterday he just went too early, but you are up now. So what are you doing here?
Yeah, well, now I got to reshuffle.
Yeah, it's always rough when you have your eye on someone and then it just go one pick before you. Matthias says, taking 3 running backs isn't the move. Those 3 receivers that the team drafted are awful. Moore, Flowers, and Terry. Well, I like Terry this year. So it's lose. I like Moore. I know it's just Moore. Say Flowers. I think Baltimore's offense might not be good this year, but I like McLaurin. And then he took Richardson. I think I'd like the team. So you're up. What are you doing? All right, Jordan Addison. Why Jordan Addison?
Well, he's got so that I believe that that's my 3rd receiver. He's got that little bit of an injury. I think if he comes back from that, for me, that strengthens my team. Very strong. Makes it very good, considering that I have Adams and Cup. Mm-hmm. So I think that if he's healthy, he's gonna have a big season. He was looking good last year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I worry about the there might be suspension, and I worry about just the quarterbacking. Not that he had great quarterbacking last year, but now they have Sam Darnold. It's not even JJ McCarthy because he's injured. And again, like with like bad quarterbacking, I wouldn't worry with Justin Jefferson because he's elite. Like Jordan Addison's not elite. He's good, but I don't think that. I think with all the circumstances there, like he could have like a sophomore slump of sorts, but he could do well too. I'm kind of like neutral on him. I haven't drafted him at all, but I haven't hated anyone who's drafted him either. I get it.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of potential. Like, if Darnold's not half bad, and Kevin O'Connell could coach him up, he could do well. So like Quorum goes is one of those. We had Mike Lucine on last night. He runs NFLRoughdDraft.com. He was talking about how in the late rounds you should draft guy like league winners, and Blake Corum is one of those guys. I think he might not do anything, but if he gets a chance, if Kyron Williams goes down, like that could be league winners. So I like that strategy for sure.
I think that's a great strategy because then you're talking about consistency, people that have been in the fire, and that's what you want as far as winning and helping your team win.
Yeah, for sure. I love Brian Thomas as well. Super elite. Super talented receiver as a rookie. I think he could have like a DK Metcalf type trajectory. And then McConkey's kind of interesting. Everyone is kind of like deems him as the Chargers' number one receiver, but he was playing in the preseason. I think that was a little concerning for me. But he was hooking up pretty well with Justin Herbert. They had a great connection in training camp. So there's that. I don't know, maybe it's just he's a rookie and he was just like Jim Harbaugh's like, oh, you've never played before, so you have to play. But I thought it was interesting that he played, but Joshua Palmer did not. So I think Palmer is definitely entrenched. So you are up now with this 9th round pick. So what are you doing here?
Yeah, I got a couple people. I'm going with the Wiley veteran. I think I'm going to do it.
I got one of those. I get like a text. It's like, Walter, it's Barack Obama tonight at the Democratic National Convention. Can you believe Obama just texted me? Like, what a jerk. He knows we're drafting.
That's pretty funny.
It looks like rookies are starting to go earlier. Yeah, I think rookies go too early. I never like it. Never like where they go. Hold on, we'll get to that question in a second. Who'd you take? You took DeAndre Hopkins. Want to talk about him?
Yeah, somebody called it out. I'm ageist now, 30. Just stay true to that. But no, look, I think he comes back healthy. I think he quietly can put up about 9-10 touchdowns. I'm fine with that. 1,000 yards. I'm fine with that. What do you think?
It's another player worried about his age. He kind of lost it, I thought, last year, but now he's the number 2 receiver. Maybe that helps him get open a little bit more.
It's a little bit of attention away from him. Yeah,
it is. Man, there's some kind of curious if this guy's going to fall back to me. I just want to see where he goes. So I'm going to. What'd you say?
Why don't you give me a hint? No, I'm just joking around.
I don't know what he said. I'm gonna take Chuba Hubbard. I always draft this guy. He's Carolina's starting running back, and Carolina's going to run the ball much better this year. I think people are making the mistake of thinking that the Panthers are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL again. It's like that's not true. Like they're going to be not going to make the playoffs or anything like that unless they win their terrible division. But I do think they can win 5, 6, maybe 7 games. Which 7 wins might get them there in that bad division. Although I do like the some of the upgrades the Falcons made to their defense the past couple of weeks, getting Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons was pretty clutch for them because they really needed it. I'm going to take the other guy I had my eye on here. Still passing on quarterbacks. I feel like I can do that. There's only 2 teams that don't have quarterbacks, so I'm not sweating that at all. So I'm going to draft assuming that he hasn't been taken yet. I'm going to take Jacoby Myers. I've been drafting this guy a lot just because of what I said earlier with Devontae Adams. he could be traded. There's a very realistic chance that happens. And if Adams is moved, suddenly Jacoby Myers is the receiver one there with the Raiders, which is, you got a receiver one who's a good player in the 10th round. Like that, I think that's a slam dunk. Like talk about league winners. Like that is something that could win your league. If Adams is traded, like suddenly Myers is, his trajectory just goes way up. So pretty happy about that. So you're up again in the 10th round. So what are you doing here?
I got somebody that I'm really. Wait, oh God, that guy literally just took him.
Oh, Trey Benson.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you try to take both Arizona running backs, and it backfired.
Yeah, well, I think they're gonna. I think they're both gonna do good this year. To be honest with you. So.
Let's see if we have any. I said. Let's see. AGB says, I have a question. My friends and I are doing a fantasy draft. It's a keeper league. We have to keep two. I'm torn between my top four. Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Patrick Mahomes. If we're up to you, who would you keep? For me, I think I would keep Chase and Taylor. I think there's Mahomes is tempting, I think. But there's so many good quarterbacks this year. We've had leagues where Trevor Lawrence has not been drafted in our mind. So I think that you can get away with letting Mahomes go. Kamara is older, and that Saints offensive line looks so dreadful. So I think Chase is a stud, and Taylor is too, and Indianapolis, they're my dark horse to win the Super Bowl this year. Sorry, what?
You said Indianapolis is?
Indianapolis, yeah, they're my dark horse to win the Super Bowl. Now, I bet the Eagles is 17-1. They're my favorite to win the Super Bowl. But as far as the dark horse, like a long shot, I bet the Colts at 75-1. I really like them this year. They almost made the playoffs with Gardner Minshew playing most of the year last year. Now, Richardson's going to come back. We'll see if he stays healthy, but if he does, they have I think a top 5 offensive line. Their defense got improved. They have good weapons with Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. and Adonai Mitchell. I like him. He was a second-round pick. He could do well. And I think they're very well coached for Shane Steichen. So, do I think they win the Super Bowl? No, but I think they will get to the playoffs. And, if you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. 75-1 with the Colts. I think that's just a great price for them. I think if I were to price them, I think they'd be 30-1 to 35-1. I think 75-1 is outrageous.
Didn't you predict the Eagles to win the Super Bowl when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so in 2017, I bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl at 40-1 odds. So what happened was I was in Vegas. I was leaving the Westgate, and Jane Daniels this one. That was a good pick. I was leaving the Westgate, and I get into a cab, and the cab driver is like, he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Philly." He goes, "Your team's winning the Super Bowl this year." I'm like, okay. I love the Eagles. I have them going 12-4. I'm like, why do you think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl? And he goes, he's like, my friend is one of the top handicappers in Las Vegas, and he's really high on the Eagles this year. He has a boatload on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I like them. I already like them. Why don't I just go bet them? So I was going to the Rio anyway to cash in tickets. And so I get to the Rio, and I see Eagles 25-1 everywhere, 30-1. I go to the window and I look at the odds on the board, and I see Eagles 40-1. I'm like, are you kidding me? 40-1? I'm like, all right, let me bet this now. So I bet it, and then I told my dad that night, and then he's like, oh, bet them for me too. So I went back to the Rio, and the guy was like, oh, you back already? I'm like, yeah, I'll put some more money on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So. That was my dad's ticket, but yeah, that's what I did in 2017. Then I bet them again 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, they didn't win, but
that I remember. Because I remember you. I think we were talking on the phone about it.
Yeah. So, all right, let me do my pick here real fast. The guy I was considering in 9th, 10th round is still here. I don't know why he's falling. It does not make any sense to me. He's number 1 on my, or maybe number 2 on my sleepers list. It is Ricky Pearsall, who we'll see if Brandon Ayuk's traded. It sounds like he will be, although there's the kind of news that maybe he won't be. But either way, I think that I feel like he's going to produce this year. He's a first-round pick. So, and they don't have much depth at receiver anyway. So even if Ayuk is not moved, he's the number 3 there. if Ayuk is traded, he's number 2, and Debo gets hurt a lot, so he could be the number 1 receiver on the Niners at some point this year. And like that is just it's way too good to pass up for me. So yeah, Ricky Pearsall, I think, is someone everyone should target late, unless Ayuk is not traded. And then I still would like him, just not as much. With my 11th, or is this 12th round now? My pick here in the 12th round, I'm going to take Ray Davis, who looked great, I thought, in the preseason game. He might be the lead back for the Bills. James Cook is there. I think Cook is going to be the receiving back, but I think Ray Davis will, at the very least, get goal line carries. And Cook's been fumbling a lot in training camp, and so he could get replaced. He's not. I don't think he's entrenched as the starter. Kamani Vidal, another solid pick there. So I'm all for drafting these running backs late. So anyway, So I did bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think the price was like 25-1. I think, but I did hedge with the Chiefs because I also had the Jaguars at 125-1, and they were in the second round of the playoffs. And so I had the Jaguars here in this one conference. I had the Eagles in one conference. I'm like what can I hedge with? And I'm like, well, the Jaguars play the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are probably gonna beat them. So like if the Chiefs beat them, they'll probably get to the Super Bowl. So I have a hedge there. So I bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl when they're playing the Jaguars. I think it was like 4-1 or something. And so I had Jags, Chiefs, Eagles, and then the Super Bowl comes. I had both teams to win the Super Bowl. So that panned out. You're up on the clock around 12. Just want to point that out. Let's see. Chris says really like Odunze long term. Yeah, long term for sure. And Keenan Allen could go down. I think that's that's a pick that really could help you win. Kyler got auto pick, got distracted. Okay. AGB says I do have an idea in my head about. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about what he was saying before. JK Alex says, who would you go at 1 PPR 12-man dynasty? I'm assuming CMC, CD, or Hall. For Dynasty, definitely not CMC for Dynasty. I mean, he's 28. I feel like he's going to be on his way out in a few years. So I think Breece Hall, he's in his 3rd year. I think he's going to be around for a while. I can understand CeeDee Lamb too. It's one or the other. I think I'd rather go with Hall, but I wouldn't blame you for going a Lamb at all. Mooj says, would you be comfortable with a Brooks Hubbard combo for RB2? So I don't like taking guys from the same team like that because you're automatically going to be down a player. If Hubbard holds on to the job the whole year, your Brooks pick won't matter at all. And if Brooks ends up being the starter, like your Hubbard pick was wasted. So like you're basically taking a player away from your team. So I would just go with one or the other. And I don't know. I mean, Brooks is coming off a torn ACL. So I don't know. I feel like you just pick one and just go with it. So
that makes perfect sense actually, because like in any team early, like you said, you end up having a void. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't really be at a disadvantage. It gives you a competitive disadvantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I don't like taking your own handcuffs. I like taking other people's handcuffs, but not my own, just because like you're wasting a pick basically. Mooch says, who are the best players to target that can be placed on IR? I like drafting an IR player to open up a spot before the season starts. Depends on how your IR rules work. Like, do they actually have to be an IR, or like are they injured out for a couple weeks? But Chris saying Hawkinson, I think that makes the most sense. AGB says I think Jonathan Taylor could have a huge bounce back year, more open running back room. Yeah, I think so. I think Taylor could lead the league in rushing. I think it's going to be either Taylor or Josh Jacobs leading the league in rushing. Alvin Kamara was great for me last year. The line was bad, but their line is worse now. Ryan Ramczyk is gone. Like Ryan Ramczyk is one of the best right tackles in the NFL. You're up, by the way. Ryan Ramczyk was one of the best right tackles in the NFL, and he is out for the year. So he's gone. They have their rookie right tackle is dealing with back tightness. Their left tackle can't block anyone. Their interior blocking is horrible. I think the Saints could be the worst team in the NFL this year. Like people are not talking about that. But they are horrible. I don't know how they're going to compete with teams with any sort of pass rush. So I don't like them all. So you took Dallas Cowboys defense. Interesting. Why did you take them there?
Well, I saw my other defense go off the board. And
is that the Niners?
Yeah, the Niners went. I was eyeing the Niners up. I was trying to get them in like, I don't know, like the 14th, 15th round, and I just wanted to get the Cowboys because I know they're gonna look solid. I wanted to have that position locked up.
Mhm.
After I went hard. I went hard in the paint like the Dewey Cox story.
I'm up now. I feel like I have to take a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
There are. I feel like there have been more backups taken here than usual, which is why was Daniel Scoff? I suppose that makes sense, but it's auto draft. We had 2 here. If you take Hurst, you don't need to take Purdy, but that's auto draft. I can understand that. Herbert, I feel like that's a wasted pick. So I guess I could take a quarterback. You never know. I mean, these guys might draft one. So I am going to go with Trevor Lawrence. I think he has a great year. He's coming off a year where he started well and then he got very banged up. It seemed like every week he picked up a new injury. So I think people are just not factoring that in, just looking at his stats from last year and just seeing that he wasn't productive, but really, I mean, he was just very injured. So I think he'll bounce back. So buying him low in the 13th round, feels pretty good, I think. Sorry, what'd you say?
I just wanted to see exactly where we're at right now.
Okay. So we're at the end of the 13th round here. So Gabe Davis goes. I was thinking about Gabe Davis just to pair him with Lawrence, but it's kind of silly. So I'm gonna take another player to pair with Lawrence, even though it was a quarterback running back clash. I'm not really worried about that. Gonna go with Tank Bigsby. He looked awful last year. Just like didn't look like he belonged in the NFL, but I don't know what happened to him this offseason. He's really turned his career around. He looks fantastic in the preseason. He's gotten acclaim from his work in training camp. So I think that if ATN goes down, I think Bigsby could be a big player. So it's one of these guys you draft late, and if he never plays, it's 14th round. But you got to take a shot on these guys. So I like taking shots on these high upside running backs late. Pair Lawrence and Bigsby. I didn't think that was going to happen, but you're up in the 14th round here. So what are you doing?
Yeah, I got one for you. Check this one.
Let's see. Oh, Tryon Tracy. Okay. Yeah, he's another guy I think could be a starter. Singletary's not entrenched there. And I liked how Tracy looked. He got banged up in the first preseason game, but before he got injured, he looked good. And it's not a bad injury. It feels like he'll play sometime soon. Hopefully in the third preseason game.
I mean, so that's the thing is he actually came back from that injury. They said he's ready to go. So they actually did say he's ready to go. And I guess one of the things with Saquon Barkley leaving the Giants is it does leave the void open for somebody to try to emerge.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I mean, again, he's one of these players. Will Shipley. I feel like I thought he's going to come back to me. I mean, you're an Eagles fan. Like, have you saw Shipley right play in the preseason? I thought he looked outstanding.
He definitely did. I mean, so who just handcuffed me?
Slew is with us usually. Yeah, I think his 13th and 14th round picks I think look terrific. Shipley is. I think I should have drafted him. He again, I thought he might come back to me, but maybe I should know better. That I'll get sniped here at some point. But no, Shipley. If Barkley were to go down tomorrow, I think I'd be targeting Shipley like crazy earlier because
because you got to start asking yourself do they lose a whole lot with how good Shipley's already looking?
Right. I think that he could definitely take over. I think Gainwell would be the third down back, and Shipley would handle stuff on first and second down. So I think that
you're making a great point on how deep the Eagles running backs are. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. I love the Eagles this year. I think they're the best team in the NFC. Now, when you get to the whole NFL, there's so many good teams in the AFC, but the Eagles have the easiest path of all the elite teams. I think you could argue. I think the Lions will be there as well, but. In as far as the AFC is concerned, you get the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Colts we were talking about earlier. Jaguars will be back. Texans, of course. And every team in the AFC North could make the playoffs. those teams are all going to beat up on each other. And so the Eagles are going to play, or the Eagles or Lions will play the winner of all that in the Super Bowl. So I'll take my chances. So Aaron Rodgers is your pick. Want to talk about him?
Yeah, I would love to talk about him. So as long as he's healthy, I think this dude's going to explode. I mean, listen, he's older. He's in great shape. He had a whole year for his body to be good. I think he's going to look to put on those like old school Brett Favre old type of numbers. He's my backup quarterback, but hey, not a bad backup, right?
Yeah, hopefully he plays more than 4 snaps this year. But if he does, then he can definitely be used. So, I'm very eager to see how he'll play this year because we haven't seen him in almost 2 years now. I usually don't like if I take an early quarterback. I don't like drafting a backup, but Trevor Lawrence here is not the safest guy, not the guy with the most upside. So with Lawrence and Stafford, I can play my matchups. And just hopefully have a great matchup each week. I haven't like aligned it. If this were a real draft, I'd kind of be like digging through to see, like if Lawrence had a tough matchup in like week 3 and week 5, I'd be looking for quarterbacks in like week 3, week 5 that I could play instead of him. But as far as week 1's concerned, Trevor Lawrence might have the easiest matchup. Miami's defense is going to be horrible this year. I've said this a lot. I think that I think Lawrence. I think that Jaguars-Dolphins game week 1 could be like 49-42. It could be insane. He's got the arm for it. He's got the weapons. Yeah.
He does that. I think Stafford's going to be good.
Yeah. So T-Die for me. I'm going to take Cassandra's recommendation and draft T-Die. So I sniped the guy that you drafted earlier by mistake.
Well, how fucking dare you? How could you do that to me? You fucked me over, dude.
Were you actually gonna take him?
You made me bend over and touch my ankles, you asshole.
Were you actually gonna take him?
Yeah, I was gonna take him. I had my eye on him. Cassandra was calling it,
Well, now you have to come up with something else here.
Yeah, maybe. Do they have like I don't know. Do they have like a W die?
Who knows? They have like such old players like Tebow. I think is listed here or something. But I was like looking for like Freddie Mitchell. He's not here, unfortunately.
I was looking for Marvin Harrison.
Well, son's there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wonder how far back it goes. Let's see. Do they have like Reggie Wayne, for example? They don't have Reggie Wayne.
I thought you were about to say Reggie White.
Oh yeah, Reggie Wayne. Yeah, that'd be weird to have him there. Matthias says, I've handcuffed the same team running back won a championship. Just don't handcuff a bum like Jalen Warren. Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but like it really curbs your upside though. Chris says I should clarify. I was drafting 2 potential starters. I did this for Washington or Denver many moons ago. Okay.
Did you see what Chris Horse wrote? Very nice value on T-Die in the 16th. He could have easily gone 5th round. I love it, Chris. That dude. He's got so many fucking great lines on here. I don't know if you read them all. They're fucking great.
Chris is great. He's the one who came up with the Butker was right apron.
Oh right.
He's the one who thought of it, and then I made it a thing, and then the apron disappeared, and so I have to make a new one or something. But
you definitely want to put in some type of jokes of the week or whatever with the guy.
No, T-Die, yes. I have to think of something. Johnny Detroit says Bigsby high upside. I guess he can't get any worse. He looked terrific. I think just go watch the Jaguars preseason game. Like he looks really good. I do regret not taking Shipley there. I kind of like had him in my mind, and then I kind of got those. It's hard to talk and draft at the same time. So like I could just kind of like lost track of my thought process, and so ended up taking Bigsby instead of Shipley. And I think my mind transferred to Bigsby because I drafted Lawrence, and I'm like, who could I pair with Lawrence? Just because I don't know. Just I play DraftKings a lot, so I'm all about stacking. And then I thought about Gabe Davis, and then Gabe Davis got taken. And I'm like, all right, well, who else is there? And I'm like, oh, Bigsby looked good in the preseason. So like my mind transferred from Shipley to Bigsby. So Shipley's higher in my sleepers list. So I'd actually prefer Shipley than the Bigsby, but I'm not too upset about it.
Laughing, talking, and eating at the same
Yes.
time.
Well, don't. I said this before. Don't drink and draft at the same time. Or if you do draft, like start drinking at like the ninth round or 10th round, because by the time the draft's over, that's when you get your buzz going. But if you start like before the draft, like you're going to be feeling it in the middle, and then you're going to screw up. I've done that before.
I'm just drinking my big ass orange Stanley of water. There's definitely plenty of years when we were at Drew's Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Drew's draft. I mean, I was probably, but I mean, what was that? Like Miller Lite? Miller Lite?
Miller Lite, yeah. Yeah. We'd have this one guy who like got wasted in a draft, and we always made fun of him because he was like in the back, he was like in the way back. He was like really feeling it. It was like 12th round. And he tried to draft Drew Bennett. And he's like, I'll take Drew Bennett. Then we just like laughed every time the name came up.
Yeah, he basically threw up while drafting, and it was more along the lines of like, I'll take but and then every year after that, I think we just basically started calling him Drew Bennett.
Yeah. I don't even know his name. I was the Drew Bennett guy.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even know his name. That's right. He was like, I think every year he was like at least 2-3 large pizzas in. Washed it down with like 12 to 24 wings.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was any sauce. They were completely dry.
No, he would have like a whole pizza in front of him, and he's like shoving wings in his mouth. Like I swear, like he ate the bones sometimes, and like he got like so wasted. He gets so wasted by the end. He like slurs his draft picks. Like we don't know who he was drafting half the time.
I was just so scared that like one day he would just like fall over and I hope, is he watching this?
I don't know. We didn't even know if he's alive at this point, but it's been a while.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think
maybe we should ask Dave. He's the fucking gatekeeper.
Yeah. I mean that league was wild. I talked about. Remember the Marcel Ship guy who was he was forced to draft Marcel Ship because he mentioned him because that was Drew's rule. If you mentioned the guy when you were up, like you had to take him. And so he
mentioned him, you got to take him, you know.
Yeah. So he had to take Marcel Ship in the second round because he was talking about him when he was on the clock, and he like stormed out.
That's like somebody drafting T Dye in the 5th round.
Right, exactly. Yeah, don't mention T Dye if you have to take these players. And then I talked about this before. We're like it was just like I think it was like the last year we did it, and like for some reason we always had a break in the middle of the draft, and so we were walking around, and like I passed by these two guys who shared a team together, and like their fantasy magazine was opened up to the PPR section. I'm like, we're not PPR. What are these guys doing? They're drafting out of PPR. So, and
they're probably sitting there like, I know something you don't know. They're probably like, nah, dude. Nobody knows what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. That was bizarre. And there's one year some guy drafted a kicker in the 6th round too.
Oh my God. Was that Drew Bennett?
No, it was someone else. I can't remember who it was. But no, someone drafted a kicker in the 6th round. I'm like, what is happening here? I was like, am I not winning this league every year? Because it was like half the league was like smart people, and like half the league was like stupid people. And like once in a while, like the stupid teams they'd luck into like great players. But usually it was like the same 3 or 4 teams like always contending for the championship.
I'll actually never forget my my first year in that league. I don't know if you were in the league my first year. I think you.
No, you invited me after you're already in, so I was okay.
Well, my first year I picked Adrian Peterson. He was a rookie that year.
Okay.
It was and they were like, you're picking a rookie in the 4th or 5th round. I'm like, I am, and he just went nuts.
Yeah. I think it came in the year after that, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
it was Peterson's rookie year is 2007. I think it came in 2008. So
God, dude, that's crazy to think it was that long ago.
It's insane. I missed that league. It was so much fun. It went away during COVID. I used to be in like 6 or 7 leagues every year, and as soon as COVID hit, that year, I was only in 2 fantasy leagues because obviously you weren't drafting and you were a person, right. But then like those leagues never came back. Like 3 of those leagues just folded. They just went away. And like our commissioner Drew was like, I texted him the next summer. I'm like, "Are you doing your league again?" And he's like, "No, I didn't miss fantasy. I just want to bet. I just want to bet now." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." But I do miss the real person, the in-person draft. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, so much trash talking, like so many stories, like that we can recount, like not just like this league but other leagues, like that. I feel like that was the fun of it. And then I'm not in any real person like live drafts. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. All of them are online. So
I'm in one. I was in my head. I was doing 4. I know you were doing like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
100% in-person leagues are by far and away the best. We've got stories for days, and let's not forget my brother just busting everybody's balls any opportunity he could probably get. But my brother's league is still going strong. That's the only league that I'm still in, besides doing this mock draft, of course, and that's live. So with that league, he does a dinner also I think it's at the end. It's probably like about a month or 2 maybe after the league is done. Maybe like after the Super Bowl or whatever. Like last year, we went to Tony Luger's in Brooklyn. Unbelievable steak. It was great. And I think he does the draft live. Yeah, we do the draft live, or whoever can make it rather. And it's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome that you do that.
We keep it going.
Yeah, we have some comments here. Chris saying, "Walt, we really need to see if things have cooled down enough for us to rejoin that old league from pre-2020." Well, I don't know if that guy who used to run it still does the league, but he used to live in Vegas and he moved, but he invited me and Chris into this league that we did. It was fun, and then during COVID, it was like I saw a story that was like San Francisco is like they're closing all their stores or something for COVID. This is not the beginning of COVID. This is like November of 2020, and I posted on like Facebook or something that I said I was like, yeah, if I were a store owner in San Francisco, I'd defy these orders. And then the commissioner goes, I can't be friends with someone who would say that, and then he just like booted me out of the league. It's like, dude, like calm down. So yeah, I haven't talked to him since. It's been almost 4 years now, so it's crazy.
I think your one buddy said send a peace offering of an April.
Yeah, maybe send a nice April as a peace offering. Yeah, it's a good idea, Chris. I like it.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, Mega asking, what do you think about Kobe Parkinson, Walter? He hasn't played in the preseason. He's starting tight end. Well, he's a blocking tight end, so I don't like Parkinson. Was he drafted here? Was he drafted here a lot? I feel like I saw his name. I don't know. He's like I don't see the need to draft him. He's just a blocker, and yeah, okay. So there, yeah, he went to Trump best. I'd try to draft someone else. Cole Kmet got drafted. Did Luke Musgrave? Looks like Luke Musgrave did not get drafted. I feel like you should draft him instead. But you already have Jake Ferguson. Well, I assume that's you. I don't know if that's you. But yeah, if you have Ferguson, you need to draft another tight end. But he's just a blocker. If you want a Rams tight end, I think it's the spicy meatball, Davis Allen, who's that's his nickname here on the show. Because he almost won me $60,000 in week 18. Unfortunately, I chose Zamir White over James Conner, so I did not win $60,000. Mega says, let's get a league going with us, Walter Football fan guys. That would be awesome. I would love to do that. I just can't be the commissioner. I've like too many things, especially with 2 kids now. I wouldn't have the time. But if someone wants to set up a league with the people who draft on here, I'm down for that. I will certainly join. All right, so let's go over our teams here. I went with AJ Brown to start and Gibbs. That's usually the setup I like here. So it's either St. Brown or Brown to start, and then go one of the elite running backs, either Taylor, Gibbs, Kyron, or Josh Jacobs. And so my running back core is Gibbs, Walker, Connor, Hubbard. I like that. And then some upside guys with Hubbard, Davis, Bigsby, and then, of course, T-Dye at the end. AJ Brown, Diggs, Watson, Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown I could use when he comes back. Jacoby Myers, pretty solid. Then Pearsall, my sleeper. So I like my receivers, Kincaid I think good value in the 6th round because he could have like a Travis Kelce 2022 type season, and then Lawrence Stafford just going to rotate those guys. So if this is how my league or my draft went in Kelly's league, which drafts on Sunday, I'll be happy about that, and I'll try to live stream it. I'll probably have like the kids running around, but I would try to live stream that if I can. It's like 3:00, so it's good. It's not going to be after dark, but I'll try to make it work. So, do you want to talk about your team here?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, it's definitely a little bit of I wouldn't say older team, but I guess probably compared to the other teams, a little bit older. I am happy with my running backs with Barkley. I think he's going to have a great season. I think that between Harris and Pollard, I think they're solid number 2s. I think playing the matchups with those 2 guys will make sense. My receivers, as long as both of those guys are healthy, I think they're both putting up solid numbers. Kelce, I like him. He's solid. I think he has the potential of still having a really strong year. Big fan of Prescott. I think he's going to do great. I like some of the backups that I have in here. I think that, let me see here. There's a couple of guys that didn't go my way, but I think if Addison, if he's healthy, that's pretty funny. I think if Addison gets healthy, then he possibly can start for me, depending how that looks. So, overall for me, it's pretty good. I'm picking number 7 for my fantasy draft in next week. So this was definitely good for me. Learned a lot.
Yeah, it feels like you definitely learn a lot from these things. So we do this every night. So I feel like
you said you do this every night.
Yeah, well, every weeknight. Yeah, it's. I feel like we learn a lot here. I usually have we'll have different guests on every night. Tomorrow we'll have Kenny on, and then Thursday sounds like we're gonna have a Body Burner on for the 2nd time. So yeah,
I might have to tune in for that one.
Yeah, that would be fun. Do you have time to stick around and talk about these other teams, or do you have to go? I didn't ask you if you had a hard stop time.
No, I can chat for a little bit. I don't have a lot of time
okay.
But yeah, we could talk a little bit more, sure.
Okay, all right. So Scary Hours, team 1. So he went hero running back strategy, which is where you take one running back early and then go late. So he took Achane, which is not the safest guy. I think if I go hero running back, I'd want to go a safer person than Achane. But his receivers are Lamb's obviously great, but then Rashee Rice, he could be suspended 6 weeks. Metcalf's good. Godwin, not like crazy about him. I like him a little bit. And then his running backs, Brian Robinson, Chase Brown, Ford right, he handcuffed right, and Achane. I don't like that. And Chandler. And then tight ends, I guess you don't need to go 2 tight ends here. Not like crazy about how this team looks. I think it took Mahomes too early. But at least he paired Mahomes with Rice, so you get the stack there. So I'm not like crazy about this team. I think maybe he's experimenting to see how a hero running back would work. I don't hate the team, but I'm not a big fan either. So what do you think?
I mean, I think his team is not bad. It can produce more. I think taking that running back at number 2 is a little bit of a reach, but I do think there's tremendous upside. Mahomes, it's early taking him that early, but I think it'll pay off. Where I'm a little bit, not overly thrilled is Metcalf and Godwin. I think they're dipping on their career right now. And other than that, then you just went with a shitload of running backs in a row.
It's the hero strategy. You go one early and then you go a bunch late. It makes sense. What I would do is instead of one of these tight ends, I'd also take another running back here and just try to get a sleeper. So team 2, SB and Wayne. So he alternated running back receiver, kind of the other strategy there. Jefferson, then Pacheco, the Evans, Kamara, Neighbor, Stevenson. I think all solid picks. I'm not like crazy about Kamara generally, but around 4 is decent value. I think Evans is on the downside. He's 31. Pacheco, I like a lot. I like the start here with Jefferson and Pacheco. Joe Burrow, I think a little early for Burrow. When I was on the board around 9, I still thought he was available, and I'm like, maybe I'll take him He went 2 rounds earlier than that. I think like this is the dead zone for quarterbacks, round 5, 6, 7, 8. You can get good players late. So I think I just wait on that. 2 tight ends, definitely not necessary. There's no need for that. Even if you take one late, and then Herbert, there's no need for that either. If you take Justin Herbert round 13, just don't take Joe Burrow, or take Burrow, don't take Herbert. I do like Irving there, a great sleeper. Rosalino is kicker. I don't know who that is, but that's a great troll pick. I like some of the players he drafted. Again, like some sketchy picks. Deontay Johnson's hurt right now. He might be okay. He took 2 Panther receivers too. I'm not crazy about that. So, what do you think about this team?
So overall, I think that his team is solid. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned with, 1, 2, 3. So I had Kamara last year, and he could have a rebound year. We'll see how he comes back, but he didn't do that well for me last year. And I don't know if that's a great pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about it is when you go over to Stevenson as his other running back, the Patriots, they don't go crazy with their running backs. So, what are you going to do there? What other running backs does he have besides those 3 guys?
Yeah, it's just Bucky Irving there at the end. Yeah, the running back depth is pretty bad. I think
that's going to be a little bit of an issue for his team, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't like running backs in bad teams. So Stevenson definitely qualifies. Patriots could be awful this year. Saints could be awful too. So Kamara, if this weren't PPR, I'd hate this pick, but at least Kamara can catch some passes. McCall went double hero running back strategy. So he took 2 running backs early, then passed on a lot of them. So Hall and ATN, pretty good. And then Hurst Andrews, I think this Andrews pick his auto pick. Then went 5 receivers. I really don't like this team just because, well, first of all, his running back depth is 0. After Hall and ATN, he didn't draft the running back until round 15. Kendry Miller, who's injured, and then Damian Pierce, who's is pretty terrible. Those are the only running backs he has. His receivers, he took 2 rookies. But you don't know how they're going to play. He took a kicker in round 12, defense round 13. Another rookie there. He took his 2nd quarterback before his 3rd running back. Just not good drafting. So McCall, I think, needs to do better. What are your thoughts on this team?
Yeah, it's similar. I do, however, think that his running backs look great, at least the first 2. I think Hurts is a good producing PPR quarterback. Historically, I think with having Saquon in the back, and like we talked about during the during the draft with those 2, the number 2 and 3, and the receivers and the tight ends, I don't think he's going to be running as much, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be looking to make him into a little bit more of a throwing quarterback. So I'm not overly thrilled with that. And then like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers in a row. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple in there that are nothing, that aren't bad. But if his 2 running backs don't pop off, I don't think his team's doing much.
Yeah, Johnny said team 1, Achane was the last decent running back available. Mahomes is too soon though. Yeah, I don't have much of an issue with Achane. I just think if you go hero running back, I think it has to be safer. Hayden saying 10-team full PPR. Burrow, Pacheco, Walker, Chase, Collins, Njoku, London. I mean, it looks great to me. So yeah, good job drafting there. And Simo saying, are you doing another draft? We'll do another draft tomorrow and Thursday night. So you can tune in then. Team number 4, Crop Dustin. This looks good except for one issue. He took McCaffrey and Samuel. That's a clash. If you're taking Samuel, you're hopefully McCaffrey's injured because then Samuel is going to get the carries. Yes. Don't clash like this. Running back receiver is bad. But as far as like the other players, like Collins, great value around 4. Most of it's fine around 6. I don't like Moss, but I praise this Corin pick. Dowdle's good. I love the quarterback that he went back to back here with Daniel Scoff. He's gonna be able to play matchups. Komet, you don't need Komet. If you take a tight end that early, you don't need Komet. I think that's a waste. So take another receiver or running back there. Otherwise, I think this team's pretty good. Just the clash there and the Komet pick. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like everything that I've been seeing is that if McCaffrey goes down, then you got Samuel, bringing up the rear literally, and so London, I've had him before. He's a stud. Samuel can be, but I don't think with him running. I think that he might actually have the best out of the first four teams so far. Prop Dustin and the name. He's got the team name too.
Yeah. So all right, so Team 5, Slew and Red Eye. So Slew went Bijan, Jacobs mix, and he went triple running back to start. I guess he was just seeing how this would work. Just because I feel like he could have done better if he went instead of Mixon. If he went either Olave or Pittman or Diggs or someone else. I just think that going through running backs early really hurt his receiving depth. So like I like Moore, but Flowers and that offense that lost 3 offensive linemen. I like McLaurin, Brian Thomas. I like his upside. He's just a rookie. Shaheed is banged up, and that offense looks awful. And Mooney could maybe do something with late round picks. So I think that just if you replace Mixon with a receiver, and then instead of Flowers you go running back or something, or instead of Njoku, you go running back and draft the tight end later. I think that would be better. But I like Richardson round 7. I said I don't like round 7 for quarterbacks. Richardson's the exception. But I don't like. I get Caleb Williams here with Richardson. This is something I generally don't like, but given how injury prone Richardson is, I understand it. I like the late round sleepers with Allen Shipley. Frank is that Frank or senior or junior? I think that's senior. I like Seymour Broad. Just I would change that Mixon pick. But I think Slew is just experimenting. What are your thoughts?
I was waiting for you to get to Frank Gore. I thought that was a brilliant pick.
Well, Frank Gore Jr. is in the league now, so it could be him. Oh yeah, Frank Gore Jr. is playing for the Bills.
His son is in the league.
Yep. They almost connected. They almost played together too.
That's insane.
Yeah,
you don't see that in football.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I think he's got a pretty solid team overall. I think it's pretty solid. Let me scroll up to the top a little bit. Yeah, he went heavy. I mean, I like his running backs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sue's saying I forgot to draft my socks inside out. This is something I recommend to everyone. I don't think I ever told you about it. I wear my socks inside out. And it is like when I tell people this, I get one of two reactions. Like I get one, they're like, okay, let me try it. And then they'll come back to me the next day and they'll be like, dude, this has changed my life. This is amazing. Or I get the reaction and be like, I can't do this. I can't wear my socks inside out. Just like,
so it's basically one or the other. There's no middle ground.
No, there's no middle ground. There's no, I tried it and I don't like it. That never happened. Never. It's
it's one of those things where like you have got to be all the fuck. You got to be all the way in. If you're not all the way in, you're fucking screwed, glued, and tattooed.
Yes, I think that you have to be open-minded. If you wear your socks inside out, I guarantee you'll never wear them regularly ever again, unless you're working out. That's the one thing we learned. If you're working out, just wear them regularly. You're not worrying about comfort if you're working out. But right. if you're just lounging around and if you have your socks on, you should put them inside out. Your feet will feel like they're in clouds. I guarantee you'll love it. So I tell that to everyone. And again, some people just they're just in this mental box where they just can't escape. And they're like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. That's so weird. I can't do it. It's just like, I knew this girl. I knew this girl who was like, we were friends. And I was like, I think she kind of liked me too. But I was telling her that I did this. She's like, I can't do it. I just can't. It's like, all right, calm down. Just try it, and then you'll like it. She's like, I just can't. I can't do it.
I got a date coming over tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm talking to him.
Yeah,
I'm highly considering just wearing my socks inside out.
Well, dude, he should do it always anyway. But he should definitely do it for fun.
What about your underwear inside out?
I have never tried that. Now I'm very curious now.
So look at that. You got some new ideas.
I like where you're going with this. I will have to try that. I'll report back to you. Let's see. Chris saying, please plug the band name again. We'll check it out for sure. Well, I was going to ask you at the end. Why don't you do that now before we get to the second half of the draft? Do you want to plug your music?
Oh yeah, sure. So if you're going to go on YouTube, it's Schmidty from Philly. And so it's just like my name spelled in the draft, SCHMIDTY. Schmidty from Philly. I have some content on there. If you are looking at Spotify, it's just Schmidty, SCHMIDTY. My album is on there. I've got like an additional like 3-4 singles that I've released, and I'm releasing a lot of new music. I've got like about 6-7 unreleased songs back in the studio. Going to be working with some pretty big, some interesting names actually. That's a little bit of a surprise. And then Instagram, it's Schmidty Music. If you want to follow me on there, that'd be great. So anybody, if you could, like, share, subscribe, comment, that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to blow the music up, catching a buzz. It's getting more and more popular. I've got a lot of promo stuff that I'm doing. And then if you're on Facebook, I have a Facebook page. It's called It's Schmidty. That's it. And that's it, really.
Yeah, all the links are on the YouTube description. So check that out. As I said before, his music's fantastic. He's his 3 or 4, maybe 5 songs of his are on my iTunes playlist. So you definitely check that out. Sasha says, I had to soak my foot last night and this morning. Stupid sock. Again, yeah, don't we learned this. Don't work out that way, but just if you're going to be comfortable.
I'll be in the gym tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Mike said the sock thing is too bizarre. Mike, you gotta try it. I'm telling you do. And then Sue asking, Walt, might you have gotten further with the Ice Queen if he would have told her about the socks thing? Yeah, this is one of my stories in my book where this girl, I was sitting next to her in my journalism class, and I was like trying to talk to her. She just wouldn't have it. She just gave me like 1-word answers the entire time. And so eventually, like, I started trolling her. So yeah, maybe if I didn't mention it, I could be like, hey, by the way, I wear my socks inside out, baby. What do you think? maybe that would have worked.
I think either that would have worked, or if you told her, hey, a neighbor of mine, a good friend of mine, is recommending for you to wear underwear inside out. Yeah. After you've worn it all day and have gone to the bathroom several times.
That would have been, that would have been better. I should go back in time. If I had a time machine, I'd go back in time just to do that. So
little Back to the Future shit.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Let's finish up this analysis. So Team 6, Trump best. So he took Hill early. I love the 1-2 punch here with Hill and Williams, and then White and I don't like White and standard, but White and PPR is pretty good. Devontae Smith. I love Devontae Smith. I would have taken him, but I already took Brown. Dell's great. Kirk, there's all this talk that he's not in 2 receiver sets. I don't care. He's fantastic. Javonte Williams, he looks good. Spears, I love all these picks. Murray, he said Murray was auto draft, so I don't even hate that. So Ferguson, good value in 10th round. I love Palmer. I love this team. I don't see anything wrong with it, except for Parkinson. I wouldn't touch Parkinson, but
this is a strong team.
Yeah. This is a fantastic team. Great team. I can't say anything negative about it.
I think this team has moved up to the number 1 team so far for me.
Yeah, me too. All right, so Team 8, Go Blue. He didn't draft a running back until round 6 of the 0 running back strategy. We'll see how this panned out. The receivers are Chase, Olave, Ayuk. It's weird. Like, I just don't know. Ayuk might be traded to Pittsburgh, then he might not look as good. Olave in that offense. I like Olave as a player, but that offense would be so dreadful. Laporta, way too early, 2nd round. Stroud, he's fine in the 5th, but I feel like you can wait on a quarterback. So his running backs are Montgomery, White, who may not be the starter there, Chubb, who may not play this year. I like Benson. Dobbins coming off the torn Achilles, but round 13 is fine. Marshall Lloyd's injured. So this team is just looking a little weak here. Samuel's injured. He drafted a bunch of injured players. So definitely look. Make sure you draft healthier players. It's fine to just draft Chubb. Just hope he gets injured. I hope he gets healthy. But if you draft too many injured players, suddenly you're not going to be able to field the team. So it's just a concern. So I'm not crazy about this team. What do you think about it?
No, I feel the same way. In fact, the best pick that he probably has here that I do like, not best, but Benson. I actually was looking at Benson when he picked him coming back. Not really feeling the team other than that.
Yeah. All right. So Team 9, S Mosk. So it's St. Brown's great, but I think Derrick Henry's too early, especially in PPR. James Cook, he's a good PPR receiver, but he's fine. the one thing that stands out to me is the lack of running backs. So he only took 3 running backs in the first 11 rounds. Feels like you should do more. And like he took quarterbacks in rounds 4 and 9. That seems like a huge mistake. Like you took Lamar Jackson in round 4. Like when are you playing Jordan Love? Except for the bye, it doesn't make sense. So either take Jackson and don't take Love, or just wait for Love. You don't need to go both. And so if he didn't take Jackson and he took a running back instead, if he took like Kamara or Pollard or someone like that, that would look a lot better to me. Or if he took a receiver here and then took like Connor here, that would be even better. So quarterback tight. Evan Ingram's gone like round 9 or 10 in these drafts. That's way too early. Brooks is injured. I don't like this team at all. I like Odunze's potential, but round 8 even seems too early for him. I like Shakira Vidal's sleepers, but yeah, I don't like this team very much. What do you think?
I can't really see taking a quarterback until round 6 or 7 at the highest in a PPR league. I guess if you're going with Mahomes, okay. Yeah, I feel similar. I'm not seeing a whole lot there.
Yeah, I can get behind taking Mahomes, Hurst, or Allen in round 4, maybe. Like that's fine, but like Lamar Jackson round 4, that's just way too early. So
I just want to say one thing though. I do like his pick with Sam Brown.
Yeah.
I do like Henry. Could he have gone to another round? Possibly. I think Henry's going to play with something to prove.
Mm-hmm. I just what I hate about Henry is that he's going to be playing on a team that lost 3 offensive linemen this offseason. And last year he was sharing carries with Tajay Spears. Like there were games where he had 10 to 12 carries, and he's on the older side. I feel like there's so much downside with him, and in a PPR league especially, like just he doesn't catch passes. So I don't know. I don't like the pick. If you took him like round 3, I'd feel better about it. 204 is too early. All right, so we have 2 more to go. John Tron, 31. He went double receiver with Wilson Nakua, which is fine, and then Allen. So he didn't draft running backs till late, so you have to kind of look at that. So we went Aaron Jones, Warren, Singletary, Elliott. I feel like these running backs are so risky. Like Jones, he's super talented. He has a very long injury of a track record of injury. Jalen Warren is injured right now. Singletary, running back on a bad team. Elliott, I feel like may not get any workload, like maybe the goal line work. McLaughlin was playing until the 3rd quarter the other night. Gibson is okay, around 14. Then he took like Lockett, who's super old, and he's on the decline. Sutton's touchdown regression candidate. I love the Higgins pick. I think Pitts is too early. Just feels like there's something missing here. Like the running backs need to be better. Like if this were a running back, if this were like Montgomery or something, I'd feel better about this. And then maybe in round 13, you take your tight end or something. I think, or round 12. I think that would like that a lot better. So what do you think about this team?
Yeah, I think the top 4 picks are actually solid. I think, again, Allen was drafted a little bit on the early side as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I have an asterisk next to Jones because I've had him a couple of years, and I've seen him. He's injury prone. Yep. If he's not injury prone, you got a top 5, potentially top 5, top 7 back. But I don't know. So, mediocre at best with I think with that team.
Yeah. All right. So last team here, Brazil 201. I see a problem right away here. He took Taylor in round 1, Pittman in round 3. That's a clash. You just can't do that. And then he took 2 tight ends. He took a tight end in round 6 to round 8. That doesn't make sense. There's no reason to do that. I like some of the picks. I like Pittman. I like Waddle. Swift is very injury prone. Don't take him around 5. Mike Williams, it feels like all these guys are injury prone. Eckler got hurt all last year. Williams was out for most of last year. Cousins is coming off the torn Achilles. Thielen is like 1 million years old. There's a lot of problems with this team. I don't like it at all. What do you think?
You think he should change his team name to the Wheelchair?
I think that'd be more fitting. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, some of these last teams are making my team look great.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there are some stinker teams here, some really good ones too. It was a lot of fun doing this draft. A few comments before you head out. You big on Kyron this year? I love his potential. There is a downside with him for sure. Very injury prone, at least so far. But if he stays healthy, he could be the RB1 overall for sure. He has that potential. Max says, feel like Corum will start to get the red zone touches as the season progresses. Maybe. Sean McVay likes to use one running back. So if Williams is healthy, I think he'll get everything. Just the thing that makes Quorum so appealing is that, Williams could easily get hurt. And if he does, like I said, McVay sticks with one running back, so it'll probably be Quorum. And then Henry plus Lamar isn't ideal either. Yeah, I missed that. It's S. Moss, Henry, and Lamar Jackson. So yeah, definitely you don't want to do that either. Sue with the 233 super chat. Thank you so much. So I said Poly Market 815, Kamala Harris 54, Donald J. Trump 44, now DJT 52, Kamala Harris 47. I regret not betting Trump at when he was 44 cents. You could have made money there, or you could continue to hold and make more money because I think Trump will win. But we shall see.
For the record, I do too.
I think he'll win. He was an underdog. I saw on Bookmaker last week. I saw Donald Trump was an underdog. He was like plus 103, and Kamala was minus 130.
Not to get too crazy into it, but I can tell you one thing. I've definitely been seeing a lot of polls that are coming out favoring Kamala, and some of the polls I'm seeing, all their polling are basically Democrats.
Yeah. Because Republicans don't answer the phone. Like they're too busy, taking care of their families and working.
The point is then the majority of the media shows these really small sample sizes of polls that are biased, and then it's like, look at what's happening, and it's like, that's not really what's happening.
No, yeah. A week before the 2016 election, Hillary was up 12 points in the polls to Trump. We saw that panned out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that I wouldn't read anything in as far as the polls are concerned. A bookmaker right now, Trump is a very slight favorite over Kamala. He's minus 113. Kamala is minus 111. So, So if you got Trump at plus 103, then that was a good move. But thank you, Slew, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's it for our show. Thank you, Schmidty from Philly, for joining us. I had a lot of fun drafting with you and talking about our stories. Cassandra, last comment. What the hell is monkeypox? By the time I looked it up, we weren't allowed to say it anymore. Yeah, now it's Mpox. Yeah, you can't even say monkeypox anymore. It's so stupid.
She's funny as hell.
It is strange how the monkeypox is such a big thing and now you can't say it. So it's Mpox. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching and drafting with us, commenting. Really appreciate it. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. We'll be back tomorrow drafting with Kenny, and then on Thursday after the two games. I think there's one at 8 and one at 8:20. So after the two games are over on Thursday, we'll be drafting then. So we're drafting as usual. We're going to be drafting standard tomorrow. So definitely tune in then. Once again, check out all of Schmidty's links. They're in the YouTube description. I highly recommend it if you're into music, if you're into rap. I think you guys will like it. So check that out. And thank you, Chris, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.